Okay, ready to dive in. Today, it's all about Bing AI.
Yeah, this is fascinating stuff.
We've got articles, research, you name it,
Yeah,
and we're taking a deep dive into this whole new world of search engines.
right. It's a whole new era.
Forget keywords, we're talking about actually having a conversation with the internet.
It's true. And it's not just finding websites anymore. This is about understanding what you're looking for.
And then using that information in totally new ways.
Mhm.
Bing AI can actually generate content from your questions.
It can summarize super complex topics.
It can even help you write different kinds of creative stuff.
And that's really just scratching the surface.
Right.
One of the articles, I think it's called AI ToolBox, really gets into it, like how Bing AI could change how we work, how we tap into our creative sides, all kinds of stuff.
So it's definitely not just a glorified search bar anymore. It's more like a digital assistant that never stops learning.
Exactly.
But how does it actually work? That the source mentions something about GPT-4.
Okay, yeah. So GPT-4, think of it like a language whiz, but like super powered. It's a type of AI that's really good at understanding human language and creating it too.
Wow.
Bing AI uses like a customized version of this GPT-4 thing.
Okay.
And that's how it can have these really natural sounding conversations and create really complex content.
So if I ask it to, like, I don't know, write a poem about the meaning of life,
Right.
it's not just going to give me back a jumble of words.
Well, hopefully not. I mean, it should actually be able to understand what a poem is, what themes you're asking about,
Right.
even mimic different writing styles.
Wow.
It's not just about putting words together. It's about understanding what they mean together in context.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about AI that understands human language, like really understands it, what does that mean for, like, bias?
Oh, that's a big one.
And because we all have biases, right?
Yeah.
Could those biases, like, creep into the AI?
That's exactly what researchers are trying to figure out.
Mm.
One of the big challenges is that AI systems like Bing AI, they're trained on tons and tons of data.
Right.
And that data, it can reflect, well, the biases that already exist in society.
So if it's pulling information from, let's say, news articles or social media posts,
Yeah.
couldn't it end up, like, repeating harmful stereotypes or even spreading misinformation?
It's definitely a risk. That's why it's so important to have ways to detect bias
Yeah.
and then try to reduce it. This can mean being really careful about the data that's used to train the AI in the first place,
Right.
and then constantly checking its output to see if any bias is showing up.
So you can't just, like, set it and forget it. You need to keep an eye on it, make sure it's being fair and accurate.
Absolutely. And it's not just about the tech either.
Oh, okay.
It's about constantly thinking about the ethics of it all, making sure these systems are developed and used responsibly.
It's a lot to consider.
It really is. Yeah, it really is. It makes you think. And it gets even, I don't know, trickier when you start thinking about misinformation
Oh, right.
and propaganda, that kind of thing. One of the other sources we have, the AI Spin Doctor, it talks about how, like, this AI could be used to make fake news articles
Wait,
or
really?
social media posts that look so real.
Wow.
It's kind of scary.
So you're saying someone could use Bing AI to, like, I don't know, intentionally mislead people, create stuff that's just straight up wrong?
It's possible, yeah. And it's one of those things, right? Like, we're talking about the super powerful AI tool, but it can be used for good or bad depending on who's got their hands on it.
Yeah, that's unsettling. So is there any way to, like, guard against that? How can people tell the difference between what's real and what's, AI made?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
I think part of it is just being aware, like making sure people know this AI generating stuff is out there.
Right, just knowing it exists.
Exactly. But we probably also need better tools for actually detecting these fakes, you know?
So it's like almost an arms race.
Yeah.
The AI gets better at making fakes, and then we got to get better at spotting them.
Pretty much. And it's not just about spotting the fakes either.
Oh,
It's about, like, being more critical about all information, you know?
so true.
Just because something looks legit or sounds really official doesn't mean it is.
That's good advice for the internet in general, honestly.
For sure.
Whether we're talking AI or not.
Right.
Let's shift gears a bit, though.
Yeah.
Talk about something a little more fun.
Okay, yeah.
The AI Toolbox source, it also talks about how Bing AI can be used creatively, and it sounds really cool.
Oh, yeah. It's not all doom and gloom with this stuff.
Good.
One of the most exciting things about it is that it could unlock this whole new level of creativity.
Okay.
Like, imagine being able to say, Bing AI, write me a song that sounds like your favorite band.
Oh, stop.
And it actually works.
That would be incredible.
Right.
I've always wanted to be a rock star, but I can barely play air guitar.
Well, there you go. Bing AI could be your songwriter, you know?
Huh.
It's not just music either.
Yeah.
People are using it to write poetry, screenplays, even novels.
Wow, so it's like having a ghostwriter, but on demand, whenever you want.
Pretty much.
Sign me up. But seriously, though, is the stuff it comes up with actually any good? Or is it still kind of gimmicky at this point?
The quality has gotten so much better, even in the last few years.
Yeah.
It's not perfect, obviously.
Right.
And sometimes it still spits out stuff that's a little weird or doesn't make sense.
Sure.
But when it works, it really works. It can
Wow.
be really impressive.
So it's not about replacing human creativity then.
Right.
It's more like giving it a boost.
Yes.
New set of tools, new possibilities to explore.
That's a great way to put it. Think of it like a painter who's just discovered a new kind of brush.
Okay.
Or a musician who's experimenting with a new instrument.
I like that.
AI can help us push the boundaries of what's possible with art, you know?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's not humans versus machines. It's humans and machines working together,
That's
creating
just-
something new.
Yes.
But let's get practical for a second. The AI ToolBox source also talks about some of the ways Bing AI could be used in the workplace, and it sounds like it could be really helpful,
Oh, yeah. Super helpful.
like for productivity, streamlining your work, all of that.
Exactly. Imagine you have to go through like a ton of research papers for your job.
Okay. Yeah.
You can just feed them all into Bing AI and ask it to pull out the main findings.
Wow.
Or like the most important data points.
That would have saved me so much time in college,
Right.
all those hours in the library.
Exactly. Bing AI could make those days a thing of the past.
So it's like a superpowered research assistant,
Pretty much.
always there, ready to help.
Yeah.
That's wild. But what about the ethical side of using AI at work?
Right.
Could this kind of technology like replace people's jobs?
That's a big question, for sure. And there's a lot of debate about it.
Right, of course.
Yeah, some people think AI will actually create more jobs.
Workshops.
Yeah, more than it gets rid of, you know?
Okay.
But then other folks are worried that it'll lead to, like, mass unemployment. Right, yeah.
So it's hard to say for sure what'll happen.
It's still early, like you said.
Exactly. But it's definitely something we got to keep in mind, you know, like as AI becomes more, I don't know, embedded in everything we do.
Totally. So it's not just about, like, learning how to use this new AI tech. It's about being ready for a world where it's just, like, a normal part of life.
Exactly. Yeah. Adaptability is going to be huge, lifelong learning, that kind of thing.
That's a really good point. You have to be ready to keep learning, keep up with the changes.
For sure. Because what's valuable in the job market today, it might be totally different once AI really takes hold.
It's true. Speaking of changes, can we go back to something you mentioned earlier about Bing AI and misinformation?
Oh, right. Yeah.
That feels especially relevant these days, you know, with everything going on.
Absolutely. It's a huge concern. And it's not just about fake news either.
Right.
AI could be used to manipulate people in more subtle ways.
Oh, how so?
Like, imagine someone using AI to make certain viewpoints seem more popular than they really are, or to drown out opposing views completely. Wow, that's kind of insidious.
Right. It's like you could use it to sow discord, create division.
Yeah, almost like propaganda, but on a much larger scale.
Exactly. And that's why it's so crucial to have, like, ethical guidelines for this stuff, especially when it comes to politics and social media.
Right, because you could use this tech to target individuals with these, like, super personalized messages.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so dangerous, you know, because it can be really effective.
That's a little scary, to be honest. Like, what if you don't even realize you're being manipulated?
That's the thing. It's very easy to get sucked in. We need more transparency, more accountability.
Like, we need to know who's making these AI systems, how they're trained.
Exactly. And what's being done to stop them from being misused.
Because ultimately, it's like any other technology, right?
Yeah.
It's not inherently good or bad. It's how we choose to use it that matters.
100%. And with something as powerful as AI, we have to choose wisely.
Well said. Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, from how Bing AI actually works to some of the bigger ethical questions it brings up.
Yeah. It's a complex topic.
Definitely. But hopefully this deep dive has given our listeners something to think about.
Absolutely. Bing AI is a really amazing tool,
It is.
but it's important to use it responsibly.
So true. So to our listener, keep exploring this stuff. Keep asking questions.
Stay curious.
The future of AI, it's really up to us to shape it.
That's right.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
We'll catch you next time.